Welcome, everyone. This is Mark in northern New Jersey, just across the river from Manhattan. So here's the reminder to get ready for our evening's meditation and foot soak with a dishpan, water, salt, towel, and rinse. So people are getting those materials. I can also just let you know that on Tuesday, it was the 21st of March, 2023, which was 100 years since the birth of Shri Mataji Nirmala Devi, the Indian woman who created Sahaja Yoga and was born 100 years ago. So it was a special day with celebrations all around the world. And today we're going to look at the sixth center, put our attention here, which we call the Agnya Chakra. If you're finding that there's things going on in the program that you simply can't follow, maybe you've missed something or it wasn't clear, then all of the preceding classes are recorded and available to watch on our YouTube channel, which are on our website. And also, if you have a particular question or need some extra support during the meeting, you can always put a question in the chat or ask to be in a breakout room later in the meeting with somebody who is an experienced Sahaja Yoga teacher. So now I'd like to introduce the two ladies who will be sharing their wisdom and love with you this evening. So first it's Linda, and that happens to be my wife. Hi, Linda.
Hello.
What's been the importance of music in your life?
Yeah, Linda.
That's a surprise question. He's full of surprises. After 32 years, I never get bored. Music is incredibly important in my life. It helps me really to get to my heart. It helps me feel balanced. It is a way that I express myself, which one of these programs I'll actually sing. So it's been, it is something that is very precious to me. And I find that for many people, simple silence helps them get to meditation. For others, saying affirmations. But for me, if I can't get quiet and I sing, I can meditate.
So welcome, Sia.
Hello, Mark. Hello, Linda.
Hi.
When did you start getting involved in music? For like your whole life, or when?
Oh, that's a good question. I started going to an elementary school that focused on music. So we had this little Austrian choir. So it was a lot of folk music, actually, that we started. And I think early on, my teacher noticed that I was fairly all right singing harmonies. So she always gave me the job to sing second voice. So then I started violin and piano age 7.
Wow.
And had proper training. I was actually only meant to play the violin, but my brother played piano, and I somehow worked out this Puradlin by Kleiderman, and I played it all day long, over and over, until my parents said, "Enough! She gets classes." That was funny.
Wow. So looking forward to hearing some of that music experience later today. So everybody, let's now enjoy our meditation, and we'll be followed by the video and music. So over to you, Linda.
Thank you. So our topic, as Mark was saying, is the Agnya Chakra. We're revisiting it. We did cover it in our first 21 days, but today we're going to go a little deeper. And the Agnya Chakra is here, the sixth one. And there's a front aspect and there's a back aspect, but I'm going to show you. Let's just take a quick look at the chart, and we can have a visual understanding of the location of the chakras. So the right side channel starts at the Swadhisthana, the second chakra, comes up and crosses over here at what we call the third eye. And then it moves to the left side of our head. So when we say that we are left-brained, the left brain activity has to do with our right channel. And this is the abode, I wouldn't say humble abode, but the abode of our ego and where we try to get humble. And the left side channel starts at the Muladhara, comes all the way up, crosses over again at the same place, the third eye, this optic chiasma that when it opens, the Kundalini can pass through. So it comes up from the left and goes to the right side of our head and also the back. So also the ring finger is the finger of our Agnya. On the right hand, it's the right and the front Agnya, and on the left hand, it's our back Agnya. So these qualities we're going to focus on today as we do our foot soak and meditation. I'm going to start by focusing more on the front Agnya, and then Sia is going to do more on the back Agnya. So let's start. Let's raise our Kundalini together with good intention and good attention, all the way up to the top of our head. Establish it there with a knot. Let's raise it again. Our attention is inside as we raise more and more strands every time of our Kundalini energy. Again to the top of our head, another knot. Third time from the base of the spine, up the central channel. Our attention follows our hand above the top of our head and 3 knots. 1, 2, 3. Let's just put our hands out and see how we feel already, having done that. Now let's bring our right hand on our left hip, up over the top of our head, and back. So we trace this arc of protection, and we also balance the right and left sides by doing this. So we have our hand on our attention on our hand as it balances out the energies of our subtle system. Let's again put our hands out, see where we are. Do we feel already some flow of vibrations? Perhaps on our hands. See if we feel a little quieter inside already. Let's give a bandhan to our foot soak bowl by circling like this, giving vibrations, energizing this salt water so that it will do a very good job of clearing our chakras. Now we put our feet in the water. Take a deep breath. Let's bring our attention to the top of our head immediately. We can bring our right hand there now to see if that Makes it stronger, easier to be there. Raise up our hand. So with all that we do in this course, we never want to lose sight that this is our destination. It's so simple. Sahaja is simple. Now let's note how we're feeling, observe now. And let's see if it'll get stronger and more silent as we do some clearing. So let's put our right hand across our forehead, tilt our head down, relax. We can squeeze a little bit on both temples. We can massage with our fingers this front agya to relax it. We can take the ring finger, the agya finger, and we can place it right on our agya, right where the third eye is. We can say the affirmation we all know. I forgive. I forgive everyone. I forgive everything. I want to be without reaction. Okay, let's bring our hand down, see what that feels like. See if it feels a little lighter, a little quieter. Now let's put our left hand on the left side of our head. This is the culmination of our right side. This is where our ego lives. Shri Mataji talks about the ego as a balloon, superego also. But so let's bring our hand out, like where if there were a big balloon, this is where it would be. And I actually felt it once on myself, that there was a balloon. And when I worked on it like this, it shrank down. I felt it reduce. So let's see if we can reduce that balloon of ego that we all have to some extent. So here we can say, please make me humble. Help me face myself. Help me think less of my own greatness and accept that I make mistakes. Let me feel that others are better than me. And I have so much to learn from everyone I meet. Let me understand that when I react, it's usually something wrong with me that I react to. It's hard to swallow. Let me be thankful when I have tense and disturbing relations with other people sometimes, because it helps me to see myself, to see my reactions. It helps me to grow. Please reduce my ego. Let me not in any way show off, feel I'm better than others. Please show me these defects within myself so that I can clean them out, let go of them. With your amazing power, Mother Kundalini, please show me and clean me of this awful ego. Put our hand down. Let's put our right hand on our heart. And from our heart, let's have and feel forgiveness for others. Mother Kundalini, please expand the love in our hearts We know it's there. Please let us feel it ourselves. And draw on this deep well of love. To feel real compassion for everyone. Our spirit in our heart is love. Let us feel and see only the spirit in everyone we meet. That is the reality. Let's bring our hand across our forehead and tilt it down. We ask that let me forgive with love, not just a mental forgiveness, but a forgiveness fueled with genuine love. And now let's ask our Mother Kundalini to take us through this narrow gate of Agnya and to our Sahasrara. Put our hand there. Please take us beyond our thoughts and reactions. Into the realm of silence above our head. Bring our hand up. Bring our hand as high as we can take it. Okay, we'll keep our attention way up there. Bring our hand down. Now we'll slowly open our eyes and rinse our feet. And put our foot soak bowls aside. Now we're going to watch a talk of Shri Mataji from 1990 in Australia, where she answers questions from people at a public program and talks about the Agnya Chakra and other things.
Because if you are doing something, you always feel, I am doing it. Even if you say, no, I leave it at the feet of Lord, it's not so. Only after realization it happens. After realization, you don't say that I'm doing it. It just works out this way. Oh, it's working, it's going. They talk in third person, as if something else is doing it. We are just as mediums or some sort of a instrument in between. And it's working, it's not doing, it's not happening. So, after realization, the karma becomes akarma, means non-action. That you don't think you are doing anything, it just works. And that's why this Kriya Yoga is against Sahaja Yoga. Sahaja Yoga is a Kriya, where there is no action. Just you think it's happening, it's there. You see it, you are a witness of the whole thing. So here what happens that when the Kundalini rises, when she goes to the Agnya Chakra, which represents, as you say, the third eye, whatever you may call it, it is between the optic chiasma, and it looks after the pituitary and the pineal body. And as a result, we have developed two institutions called ego and superego. The ego is the one which tells us, I have done it, I am doing this. Both these institutions are sucked in by the enlightenment of this center. And that's how the thing opens out. And all your karmas are sucked in. So there's no problem of karmas. Only human beings think that they are doing karmas. Animals don't. They have no sense of sin or anything. They are completely under the bondage of God. So in Sanskrit they are called as pashu, means under the bondage. But we are the ones who have got freedom. That's why we think that we have done this and we have done that. We should not do this, we should not do that. But when the Kundalini rises and she awakens the center, then both these things are sucked in. And when they are sucked in, then you do not do any karmas anymore. You just are in a karma. You do everything. I mean, I travel, you know, such a lot, and I have a family and everything is there. But it's just happening. I'm just seeing it. I'm not doing anything as such. So when you are also awakened, there's no obligation. It's just happening. It is so. Is here where we should understand this center is bestowed upon by the great life of Christ. Christ is there. And they said that he died for our sins, died for our karmas, is a fact. Because when he is awakened, these two institutions are pulled inside, and you get your Kundalini out there. It opens out, and this bone, which has been calcified, opens out, and the Kundalini pierces through. And this is what it is that he died for our sins. But still the theory is extended that we must suffer. Why should we suffer? He has suffered for us already, and is already written by Thomas, who was traveling to India via Egypt, where he wrote the treatise, and he said that why should we suffer? Christ has already suffered for us, and he's talked everything about Sahaja Yoga. He said it is an experience of self-realization and everything. And that book now is out in England. After 48 years, they could decode the whole thing, which was found about 48 years back in Egypt, and is out now, and is beautiful. Gnostics is the name of the book, but is not so much appreciated by some of the people because it challenges the theories of sufferings and confessions and all this nonsense. You cannot awaken yourself. You see, you have to have one enlightened candle to enlighten another candle. This candle, which is not enlightened, cannot enlighten itself. But there's no obligation. But you can correct. Once it is awakened, you can correct it, you can develop it. First, only few hair-like strands of this energy come up and open the fontanelle bone area. And then this flow of Ru starts flowing on you, and it relaxes more of the centers, so more of these strands start coming up. So you can develop it at your will by understanding it, but you cannot enlighten yourself by yourself. All other meditations are artificial. You are in meditation when you are in such. Unless and until Kundalini is awakened and you are one with the divine power, still thinking all the time, how can you stop thinking? There is one thought that rises and another thought that falls off. Again another thought comes up and it falls off. It goes on like this, and we are dancing on the cusp of these thoughts. In between the thought there is a little space called as Vilamba, is the present. Either we are in the past or in the future. But that is only possible when the Kundalini comes up, then these thoughts become more lean and there's a bigger space left and you remain in thoughtless awareness. And that is how it works out.
So even though we put attention on our ego and superego today, let's not forget we want to go beyond it. So we keep our attention in silence on top of our head. We bring it back again and again. When the thoughts are coming, we just say, without any reaction towards the thought, we just say, not now, and bring our attention back on top of our head. Be still, my mind, I said, when I wanted to meditate. And the mind said, are you sure? You don't need me? No? I'm fine. You can rest. So just be still, my mind, I said. And the mind said, you sure? You don't want me to plan ahead? Or give you some memories? And I said, no, I'm fine. Now I want to be in peace and meditate. And the mind went to rest. Let us keep our attention in this feeling. the left side of the fifth center, which is our left ring finger, which Linda explained beautifully, is connected to our superego, subconscious. We call also the back Agnya. A little example how we can maybe feel that we have back Agnya other than feeling this left ring finger could be if we feel a little bit troubled by dreams, things in the past, but also this lethargic feeling when we get up in the morning, we don't get out of bed, and we just linger, and the longer you lie, sometimes the heavier you can literally feel it gets. The back Agnya is really the subconscious. It can be a dark place. It can feel like a dumping ground of everything that has been, and that's not necessarily in our own life. Almost from the whole evolution, things that are past us, everything that has been. And I think the easiest thing to deal with it is to detach. As Shri Mataji said, to be the witness for both of the centers, the ego and the superego. That's why I told this little story about the mind that came to me a couple of days ago in meditation. I felt if you look at it as something that is not you and you have a conversation with it because it's something else, then you leave it where it is and let it be. And that felt like that with the ego, also with the superego, with the front Agnya, with the back Agnya. Things I think I have to forgive, but what do I really do? I don't really do anything. And same with the past. If I'm in the present moment, which is really our meditation, is being completely in the present. So what's happening in the present moment? We're all on Zoom. We're all here. We all have joy in our hearts. The past doesn't exist unless I think about it. The future doesn't exist unless I think about it. So let's work on that. Work in quotation. Let's put our hand on the back of our head and let's detach ourselves. Let's just let go of anything that happened in the past. We can rest our head in our hand. We can rest our head in our hand. And we can say, Mother Kundalini, please cleanse this superego, this subconscious of mine. Please remove anything, any obstacles that trouble me from the past. I want to let go. I want to be free from my past and my conditionings. We can even give it a little bit of a tap, a tiny bit of a tap on the back of the head. It's a really nice way of cleansing this center. And let's place our right hand on the right side of the head, the second balloon, the superego that speaks. I am so poor. Maybe we trouble other people. I'm so poor, have pity with me. You can laugh at it. Actually, that's the best way, is laughing at your ego and your superego, because it's so silly. So again, Mother Kundalini, please cleanse this center. Remove my superego. I'm a realized soul. I have the Kundalini awakened. There's no need for me to feel any pity for myself, because I have all the powers to work out anything that bothers me. And I have a big family of realized souls that are there to help me. Let me not have my attention anymore on things that I feel make me miserable and small. But let me celebrate all the qualities that I have and that are getting stronger and stronger and blossom just like flowers. Let's take our right hand and guide it again slowly up our spine, supporting this journey of the Kundalini upwards and also supporting our attention going upwards. Past ego, past superego. And then let's hold our hand over our head and keep the attention there, full attention on top of our head. And now raise it a little higher. And even more higher. And now even further until we really stretch our arm. And let's see if we can feel this Kundalini all the way up there. Because if we think it stops here, we're very mistaken. It goes way up high. Let's try the left hand. And again we raise it higher and higher till we really have to stretch our arm and see what happens there. And there we keep our attention. The previous tune was in Rag Bhupali, which works on our Agnya. And this next song is a little tune that I wrote for the occasion today. And it's not a song, it's not a performance, it's not a concert. It's just meant to help us all go beyond the thoughts, into the silence. So let's do that. Let's close our eyes. We can also look at the picture of Shri Mataji because it really helps us not to think. And let's just listen to the song from this silence space above our head. Teach us to live in the silence. Teach us to live in the silence. Between the songs, between the songs, and we shall fly into your arms. Teach us to live in the silence. Teach us to live in the silence. Between the words, between the words, and we shall fly into your arms. Oh. between the breaths, between the breaths, so we feel safe in your embrace, so we feel safe in your embrace. So let's see, again with our hand over the head. Is it cooler? Am I more in the silence? Was I able to stop thinking about myself and just enjoy? Am I joyful? Let's try with the right hand. And maybe give it one last minute of just total silence before I hand over to Mark. Maybe we can show Shri Mataji's photo and just be really, really in the silence.
In a minute or two, we're going to fill the silence with stories and experiences from Linda and Sia as we ask them to share what they have learned practicing Sahaja Yoga about the two institutions of ego and superego. But just before we ask them some questions, just let everybody know that we continue with our 21-day program. We completed the first 21 days, and we're soon going to complete the second 21 days on day 42. And then after that, let's see what happens, because we want to keep growing and growing. So Sunday will be day 40, and the theme will be emerging from our shell. So as the bird is born once as the egg and it's born again out of the shell, we just keep growing and expanding in Sahaja Yoga. And we'll demonstrate a technique that everyone can try, which is putting the hands on the head and using massage to help open the chakras. So something a little bit different and tactile. So the schedule for our 21 days is 3 times a week, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. And we're coming to the close of our 7 weeks next week. And if you want some more exposure to the meditation with the group, we also have the foot soak, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, at the same time, same Zoom link. And if you need any kind of support, any kind of questions, you can always ask for a mentor, an experienced Sahaja Yoga teacher who can just check in, see how you're doing, what you're feeling. If you haven't already joined one of our WhatsApp groups, the link will be in the chat, and it's also on our website. And all the sessions are sent live and recorded at our website. So this is where we'll begin talking to our two presenters about their knowledge and experiences. And it's also your chance to request a breakout room if you want to go one-on-one with a teacher. And you can also post questions in the chat. So let's bring back Linda and Sia.
Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you.
Good, 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 because I switched my audio system. Good, good.
All right. No longer in the orchestra chambers.
I left.
All right. One of the aspects of Agnya Chakra is the power to forgive. How has that evolved in your experience in Sahaja Yoga, that power to forgive? Sia?
I think it would be a lie if we would say we never have been challenged to forgive anyone. People can be nasty. People can do things to us, right? But we can't change them. I think that's the first step, to understand that we cannot change other people, but we can change our reactions. And it's not always easy. And when we talked in the dry run with Linda, we talked how much it's connected to the emotions, isn't it? It's interesting how much is actually connected to the emotions, because this memory of whatever situation I'm trying to overcome is so personal, is so hurtful in the heart or in whatever part of my emotions. And I think obviously working on that helps. I can work on my heart, on my security. I don't necessarily work so much on the Agnya, do I? Yes, I can. Always I can say I forgive, but what do I do? So I can save myself. I can protect myself. I can put a band so it doesn't happen again. I can meditate to overcome the trauma, whatever bad memory I have. And I can just forgive in the sense that I don't think about it. The less I think about it, the less it's not there. So that's probably my angle is, unless you're constantly confronted with the same person doing the same hurtful thing, that's a real challenge. I don't know, Linda, what would you do in that case?
That takes a lot of detachment. and yeah, and I feel that one of the things that helps me is to, it may seem cliched, but really to see the good in others. I mean, the spirit in each person, and know that somewhere in there's goodness. And they, just as I often or sometimes can say something I didn't really mean or be hurtful unintentionally, that people can also do that. And so if I acknowledge that in myself, I can then be more able to forgive others who do similar things. Now, if someone's coming at you all the time with that, then I think you have to take some other actions, which is, either to try to talk to them about it or, and really with love. I mean, that's, I think, the key to all of it. I had an experience, a few years ago that really helped me understand about forgiveness in a deeper way. And it was someone very close to me. I think, forgiving people who are casual acquaintances or people you see, sometimes it's easier than someone who's close to you. It cuts you to the core a little more deeply. And so this was someone close to me, a family member who really did, I felt quite insulted and hurt. And so, took a better part of a day or two to kind of process it. And okay, well, she couldn't really mean it. And okay, well, all right, I forgive her. But it was really still, I would say, still in the realm of the Agnya that I was forgiving, in the sense that it was still very kind of abstract or even conceptual. And I realized that until then, it was still there. So it hadn't left my mind. So I knew that, in fact, I hadn't fully forgiven. And it wasn't until I then understood that what I had to do was forgive from my heart. And I know, I've heard about this before, and Shri Mataji, of course, talks about it. Every time she says forgive, she says from the heart. I heard she said it tonight in that talk. And I go, oh, wait, I have to forgive from the heart. And so that took another whole round of, getting that to really be the case. And it was only then when I truly felt love, when I could actually say that I loved that family member. It happens to be a family member, so I do love them, but I think it can be for anybody that we know, that the love was there strongly, that then only the forgiveness truly came. So that was a big lesson I had a few years ago, and I wanted to share that with everybody.
Right before the Agnya is the center, the Hamsa. I don't know if you covered that, the discretion. And this is so important. We got to still be smart and switched on people and use our intuition, because there can be situations, for example, where somebody is really constantly showering negativity on you. Then we got to be smart. We're not going to go home and meditate endlessly. No, either we just cut contact with these people when we feel they're not good for us. They're pulling us down. And that can sometimes be family members, and that's tough. But if I look after myself and my spirit, I got to also protect myself. So sometimes simply just taking a distance from certain negative people, as harsh as this may sound now in all sense of forgiveness, can be a smart move. Or we use our vibrations, like how you say with the forgiveness, you already go with love into the situation so they don't feel challenged. That helps. But also we can give a bandhan. Have you shown how to do bandhan, hand bandhan?
Yes, we did a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then just give this situation a bandhan. And the moment I give a bandhan to this person or the situation, I surrender it, I give it, and I have nothing to do with it anymore, and see what happens. And very often miraculous things happen. And these things get dissolved. But we got to be smart. And sometimes we also got to stand up for ourselves, right? And say, stop right there. Don't talk to me like that. We're not going to go and get, drowned in negativity or abuse of other people. I think it's really important. So all these things are there, not just the forgiveness. That's my opinion. And that's also something we learn over time, isn't it? Because we're in all these situations over the years, and we're yogis. We're trying our best, trying to forgive. And then we say, oh, that was maybe not enough. I had to go a step further and then talk to another yogi. What shall I do? And they all give a bandhan and something works out.
It reminds me of another point in my Sahaj journey. Let's say that I understood more about it from a Sahaja Yoga point of view. That, it was with Shri Mataji once, where someone was complaining about some person, and they were something to do with money, and they had really done something terrible, and had mishandled money. And this person was so angry at them, and how could they do it? And Shri Mataji said, but they have a weak nabi. The nabi controls money. What do you expect? So
true. What do you
that's
expect?
the thing. So that really helped me to open my eyes that we have our vibratory awareness now. We can actually see the condition of people's chakras. We can know where they're strong and where they're weak. And if they do something that, in this case, like mishandle money, and we can see, oh, yes, their nabi is catching, we can actually give a bandhan for their nabi, but we can also understand that this is just how they are. This is, something not to be angry about, but just to have compassion about, and to maybe find ways to help them, or just understand and accept them as they are, rather than react to something that just is about that person. So that's really helped me in my life, that I go, well, yeah, somebody's talking. Why are they talking? Oh, their right pituity's catching. Well, of course they're going to be talking endlessly. It's okay. That's why. So
That's a good point.
So.
All right. I'll ask the next question to Linda first. Practicing Sahaja Yoga, have you been able to notice your own ego? And have you learned any skills in dealing with it?
It's a lifetime pursuit, let's say. I think it's interesting. I think we all, when we're new in Sahaja Yoga, we think, oh, I have superego, but my ego is okay, and it's just a little less awful. But really, I think we all do have shades of ego and some, things to work out with our ego, and I certainly have. And I feel like what has helped me a lot is to try to notice what I react to, and also see people that I'm interacting with as like a mirror for myself. Because if they're reacting to me, then there's something coming from me that is not pleasant. And usually it has to do with ego. I find that there's something that is coming out that is not loving or not kind or not considerate, or just, so I think that it helps me to try to stay alert in situations that I'm with other people, and try to learn about myself from other people, that and that's why it's important to keep interacting with others, not sort of hide away. During the pandemic, we maybe got a little bit settled into our own little shells, but when we are interacting with others, we do bump up against others, and then we see more about ourselves. So that is one way that I have been able to see my ego, is through the reflection of others, through their reactions to me. So.
And Sia.
It's a good question. Ego, I mean, after years and years, it still comes up, right? As Linda says, very often you can see it through other people better almost than just looking at yourself. But things are a giveaway. For example, if I watch myself, how I speak, how often do I say I this, I that, how often do I lead the conversation with what I'm doing? Am I actually listening to the other person? These are little giveaways. But as an artist, like if you're a musician, and in Sahaja Yoga, because we are in Sahaja Yoga, we have this habit of constantly looking at ourselves and constantly introspecting, right, and questioning ourselves. So it can sometimes become a little bit of a loop, of a witch hunt of, oh, am I egoistic? Is my ego now playing? Oh my goodness, is my ego now talking? And then you get into a loop. So sometimes it's actually a good way of not even thinking too much about it, I find, and just not give it too much attention. It's probably going to present itself, but I think what's important, like for example with the music, is if I ask myself truthfully, what is my aim here? Is it to shine and the glory and get a lot of praise? Or is my aim actually to make other people happy? And one message from somebody saying, I felt vibrations, that truly makes me happy today. Or if somebody says, I was able to not think for a while, and then I feel I've been a good instrument, right? That for me, that took me years to really get to this point. Not saying that I don't have an ego. I'm just saying I just noticed over the years the angle, how you look at yourself and your work and whatever you do, the more you humble down with it and see you're literally only a vehicle with the talent that you have given for that purpose. And that's as far as it goes. If you make anything bigger than that, then you're very much mistaken. Like we're all these little bolts and screws in a wheel. So it's just, a whole machinery needs all these different elements of people, and a musician is one, and the speaker is somebody else, and the people who are hiding here, hello, in the tech, they're the next ones. We all of us are needed for all of this. So if I think, like Herbert likes to talk often like that, say, if you think you're a special drop in the ocean, you're really mistaken. We're all different drops with an identity, but the beauty is really, if we dive into the ocean as these drops, we all do keep somewhat our identity and our qualities, and they have to be different. And that's the beauty I find. And in Sahaja Yoga, that's just enjoying everybody's talents and different the variety of people. This is so joyful. And then doing a collaboration like this one, for example. So that's also part of the ego, it's very tricky. It can give you a big ego coming on 21 days and talking big. And sometimes you're like, am I a hypocrite or not? Am I doing what I preach? This is always going on, right? It's always going on. But hey, we do this to hopefully be good instruments, and with all humility, try to stay real, right?
Yes, absolutely. Mark, do you want to add anything to that?
Maybe two things. One, recently somebody said, oh, I'm going to give you a big job, you have a big responsibility. And the first thing I felt was my ego finger on the right hand, the right Agnya. And so, I could feel it. It was coming up. And, I'm going to stand on a chair now and shout at everybody. And then you can kind of tease yourself and realize that you have a job to do. How about that? And then just as we're talking and just reflecting on, once I came to the airport and I was feeling a lot of self-doubt and uncertain. And do I really want to go to the airport to see Shri Mataji as she's arriving in the airport? Maybe it was in New Jersey or someplace like that. And that, maybe I should just go home because my chakras are not that clear. So I arrive at the airport and then somebody hands me Shri Mataji's purse. And says, can you hold this for her while she walks through the airport? And so in those moments, there's absolutely no ego. It's like, I'm not being given this because of any special capacity I have. I'm being given this because of the amazing capacity Shri Mataji has to remind us again and again that she just loves us. And that when we just immerse people in love, it basically melts the ego.
The stories with Shri Mataji are great because, and you lot have been long enough around to hear it, but it happened to a lot of people. They were handed a purse or maybe another item or were given a job to drive, and they were so proud. And later they found out Shri Mataji said, you needed this because you were not okay.
Right.
So it's quite the opposite. And the ego went, woo, dive. So yeah. You just gotta stay realistic.
I think go ahead.
I've always assumed that ego, others get miserable from you being there, and super ego, you get miserable from you being there. So I do quite well with people that have more of a super ego, because then we're all miserable together and we can notice it. But if we're all a bunch of big egoists, then we're all just so amazing. No problem. Just keep doing whatever we're doing. No change required. So I learned very early in Sahaja Yoga that the ego is this amazing shield between me and reality. And it hates any intrusion of reality on the myth that I'm living in. So how about dealing with superego? See ya.
Super ego, as I said, this, long sleeping or late getting up, and I feel a heaviness on my back. Agnya, that's one of them where I would feel it. Otherwise, I'm probably more in the tendency to the ego than the super ego. But it's very healthy just to super ego. I notice people who, they have a tendency to go quiet. Some people who are more on the left side, and they don't want to talk about the problems, or they go more quiet, whereas ego is heard, noticed. So we got to look after each other and just talk. And sometimes it helps if you just talk with each other. And humor for both of them is the best. If we just laugh it off and laugh about ourselves, first of all, maybe how silly we are with our ego, or do a competition of who's more miserable, like Mark just said. Laughing it off that's half the job done, because what happens is you look at it like something else. This is not me. And again, we're back to that, right? Have the conversation with your mind. How are you doing, mind? Oh, you're being silly. That's already such a good step. And I think if we just have that general attitude towards ourselves, that we talk to ourselves, say it loud, say, what are you doing? You know, and laugh it off and say, this is so silly. Half of the job's done. I don't have to go and sit now for half an hour and do all that stuff. Just that, realizing this is not me. I think this is helpful. That I found recently is helpful.
It sounded like you were saying that it was very helpful to be with somebody else, to tickle each other, to be playful with each other. Is that what you were getting at?
I think so. And I think that's very much what people, when they are more on the left side, don't want to do. And then getting them out of there and being collective has very often, I think, helped. Obviously, you can work, you know, with a candle, take a candle, work on your back agya. It does wonders. Be careful you don't burn your hair, or put it somewhere on a stand further away and let it burn on the back agya is really beneficial. Give it a little tap, do the ham ksham exercise. Those are all great. And for the agya, we know looking through the candle. So these are all great things, you know, and just the meditation, listen to a speech of Shri Mataji dissolves so much already, you know. Maybe not to give it too much importance also, you know. But again, I don't have all the answers. So I'm just, if I would have a nice ego, but I don't. Yeah.
All right. Super ego and practicing Sahaja Yoga. Linda.
Yeah, I mean, like, see, I'm a little bit more challenged on my right side with my ego, but I think we all do often in this Western culture come with issues on both sides. And for me, one of the things I somehow did early on in Sahaja Yoga was to try to, I mean, okay, I have all this reading and education and, you know, beliefs and, you know, those kinds of conditionings, a lot of intellectual. You know, my head was at one point, I didn't even know if I was thinking or if it was something I'd read, you know, like that kind of stuff in my head. So I just, when I heard Shri Mataji and met her, I just felt like, oh, I should just have a blank slate, just erase all that, or not erase it, but just let me kind of approach Sahaja Yoga with a completely fresh and open mind, and not bring try not to bring previous knowledge or conceptions or beliefs to it, and try to hear what she was saying with open ears and with an open heart. So that helped me a lot, because, and there were a lot of things that I was completely unaware of, that I was really very acting very strangely, you know, like, honestly, and not just thinking, you know, too much thinking, but too many preconceptions about things, but also just in day-to-day life, some of the habits of mind and attitudes, and, you know, simple things like not being able to make a decision easily, or having ideas about money that were really governing a lot of my motivations, you know, unconsciously. So those kinds of things are sticking in the left side, and they do come here. Also, you know, just a lot of things from the way I was brought up and in my family that I had to sort of, you know, look at one by one. Some of them were good conditionings, okay, you know, things that were like being a dedicated, loyal person and being responsible and these kinds of things. But there were also a lot of things that were just not positive. And so that I kind of tried to look at them one by one and sort of parcel it out and see what I could kind of shave off and, you know, let go of as baggage.
There's a reason why we have day and night and day and night. And just like you said, every night I sleep, next day I restart. And I think this restarting, what you talked about, is important. Let's give ourselves this chance to restart over and over, and it's okay. And just leave it behind and just forget about it, try again. And that's how the world is made. This goes over and over, day and night, day and night, day and night. Let's do that with ourselves. And let's not, I think especially for the back agya, for the superego, let's not be so harsh to ourselves with things that happened and self-destructive, because that's really what it is, self-destructive behavior. Let's just give ourselves a little break and say, you know what, today's a new day. I'm starting from zero. I start again. And today I meditate, and let's see how it goes. And I may make mistakes again. It's okay. Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow I start again. And that's constant regeneration and revisiting. And just let's give ourselves this chance. Otherwise, this lingering in the past, and this lingering to all these attachments and all that, that's really what gets us down, especially on the left side. And the left side is not always easy to work out, right? We know that left side's a tough one sometimes to work out. And for that, the meditation helps so much. And the candling helps so much, because you don't get far with the mind. And then sleep over it, give yourself a fresh start, and go out there and meet people who are good for you, also counts.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, another way to say exactly what you said, Sia, because I had this idea I was going to say something and then you said it. So it's spectacular, the collectivity of our attention.
Collective attention.
The way I was going to put it was, we don't need to keep feeling bad about feeling bad. That there's this interesting attitude you can develop when you practice Sahaja Yoga, that you just go, I'm feeling bad, but I don't need to feel bad about feeling bad, because it's just negativity. It is completely
not me,
unrelated to me. It's no fault of mine that there's this negativity. There it is. So now, like the surgeon with the thing that needs to be cut out, or whatever it is, the gardener who needs to do some weeding, we simply apply our techniques. The candle.
We all don't have it very far.
Right, here it is.
You learn the techniques, and then you just say, okay, negativity, today's your day. And it's like, oh, I feel really bad, but I don't need to feel bad about feeling bad.
I love that. That's a great phrase to say.
And what we can do for each other is just keep giving that reassurance, keep handing that precious purse or whatever it is, keep reminding each other how valuable each of us is, and how we are doing this yoga for some reason, some purpose. It's not an accident that we are together doing this yoga, enjoying the silence together. So we can keep reminding each other and egging each other on and say, where's your candle?
And you said it, the moment I put my attention, especially if I would have Bhagagya and subconscious problems, the moment I put my attention on someone else and not me, half the job's done. Focus on someone else, see how can I help this person, how can I be nice to that person, boom, suddenly my problem's gone. It really helps.
All right, so the essence of clearing every chakra for me is to get above all the chakras, to find that place. So you just want to give us 1 or 2 minutes of being at this place again, Linda?
Sure. Have a short meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's bring our attention inside and put our hand on top of our head. Simply by placing our hand there, it brings our attention beyond the Agnya, beyond the ego and superego. This is the best way to clear, to get beyond it. Let's raise up our hand. See what we feel up there. Our hand is helping us to keep our attention in this place above our head. So let's follow it. And just let go of our mind, go of our thoughts, not needed now. We ask this Mother Kundalini energy, please take us higher and higher to this place of our own goodness, of our inner beauty, of our joy. We put our attention on these positive divine qualities within us. Let them overflow out of the top of our head. Let's see with our other hand. If we can feel that bubbling up of divine energy within us that puts us in connection with the all-pervading power of love. What we've been seeking all our life. Bring your hand down. And feel the support of each of us for each other. We all lift each other up. We can open our eyes. Maybe we can raise our Kundalini at this point, give ourselves a bandhan. So I think we'll end here. Thank you all for coming. Hope it was helpful. The Agya is something we can talk about and work on endlessly, but ultimately we want to feel this peace, this silence, and this enjoyment. So hope you were able to get there too. Have a good evening.